Hey, what up squad? This is just a quick video update on the four-wheel camper's interior and exterior kitchen setup. Now let's get this thing started. Now for those of you guys who are new to this channel, I have a 2009 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport short bed with a four-wheel camper that was a shell when I first purchased it, and everything on the interior was pretty much done as a DIY project in my garage. Now I will have the full playlist of the progress for this four-wheel camper in the description below. It definitely took a long time to get here, and there are a few adjustments here and there, and you'll also see all the details of the electrical, plumbing, and all that stuff in the previous videos. So make sure you check those out. Now I'm not going to lie guys, this took a lot of thought and a lot of time to figure out the proper layout in terms of the kitchen setup. So this I did kind of drag my feet on, but I am very happy with how it came out. So if you want any of the items used in this video, they will be linked in the description below as well. And with that, let's get to the camper. All right guys, first thing you'll notice is I did finally mount the propane tank. So this is a nice, awesome, permanent storage for this thing. Now let's hop inside. Another nice little upgrade is I did finally put in this LED lighting system. It's RGB, so I can change the colors manually. But red is actually perfect for camping because it doesn't attract the bugs and it doesn't kill your night vision. So I'll keep it at red most of the time. I do also have another switch here, which is for the water system, and we'll get into that a little bit later. So it's a rocker switch, we'll keep it off for now. Now before, in order for us to see inside, we had to turn this light on and we press this button here. I mean, doing that in the dark becomes a little bit of a pain in the ass since we don't really see ourselves, since we don't really see the footing underneath. So it was nice putting those LEDs in. So let's start with the walkthrough on the passenger side, guys. So you can see all of the cabinetry is finally finished. This is exactly how I envisioned the indoor portion of the cabinet. And just like what I did with the drawer system, these are also using sash locks for windows to keep these things closed. So with this system, I can open up and access all of the kitchen stuff, both indoors and outdoors. And we'll get into the details of the kitchen area when we get outside. The backsplash is basically just stick-on backsplash, and these are just trim pieces that I use to hide the edges. And as I mentioned on the water system, as you can see, there's a button here now. This is activated by turning this rocker switch on. That light turns on. You don't really hear the motor yet. So the idea is I don't want that water pump running all the time. So I press this button, and now water's active. And I press it again, water's no longer active. See? So the idea is this whole thing is actually on a timer system. So I turn that on, that light activates, I press it, it can only be active for 5 minutes max. And then you have to press it again to activate it. Now if I press it once and then press it twice within like 10 seconds, it would just turn the system off. So I'm very happy with that because no matter what, I have water on demand and it won't burn out the pump. So there's gonna be very little risk of things leaking. And I'm very, very happy with how that whole idea turned out. Now moving over to the north of the truck, girlfriend really furnished this well. We got this nice globe bed sheet. She got that Nice blanket there. And this whole side here is basically the L sectional that I had envisioned. It looks great. I mean, the details of the electric and all that stuff, it's highlighted in the previous video, but I'm not gonna go over that. And this is the indoor-outdoor drawer system, which also uses the same sash locks to keep the system open, well, keep the system locked and closed. And there's cutouts here so you can access it from outside. I also detailed that in my previous video, so check that out. So I'm not gonna go over that too much. But yeah, overall this thing looks great, guys. Jeez. Now I still do have to redo this whole hatch portion, but the interior looks amazing, guys. I'll show you. Bam! So we'll start from this left-hand side. This is obviously the bread and butter of the overall build. So we have the stove, and this is the pan that I use like 90% of the time. Knives, I haven't put in the magnets yet. Ideally, I do want to magnetize it in terms of storage up top here. And we got the full-size cutting board. And I haven't filled this with spices yet, but this is a spice rack. So my girlfriend and I do enjoy cooking. So we do have a series of spices that we use pretty often. This is water, oil, and here is basically another set of like spices and other ingredients that we like to use. And this is the portable sink that we use for washing dishes. And I'll pull it out so you guys can see inside. I mean, you probably have seen this in multiple vlogs. Inside is just a dish rack. And this is the hose that I'll put on later, and you guys will see how the water system works on the outside. Now moving on to the right, this is basically like the more exotic cooking stuff that we use. This is just a cereal container with, this is pretty much charcoal. So that's charcoal for our folding charcoal grill. You've seen this probably in my other vlogs as well. This thing is great for grilling up steak and chicken. We love grilling, and camping is a good way for us to slow down and really take our time when it comes to enjoying our meals and cooking. So we really prioritize having a charcoal grill. And then here is the good old Dutch oven. We use this maybe a handful of times, but this is specifically for camp, so I'm leaving it in here. Now moving further right, this is where things get kind of fancy. This is a pull-out wall system. I have a custom 3D printed bracket for these stainless steel cups. Some fanciest Nordic mugs that we'll be enjoying. Make it really feel like camping. This was actually my girlfriend's suggestion, and it looks beautiful. I'll link all this in the description below. And then here, can't have camping without a flask. This gigantic flask with our stainless steel bowls. So I'm very happy with how this organization system has turned out. And everything is definitely super, super nice. Now let's go on to this lower drawer system. This is the flat drawer. This holds the coffee, French press, and this is a jet boil pot. So very nice as well. And last but not least, let's bring you to the other side for the last pull-out. Now this is just the flatware set with our plates, again on the slider system. I am very happy with this drawer system here, guys. This was like a weird idea. It came to me and I just expanded on it. And I'm very happy with how it looks. and how it functions. Now moving further to the right, this is the same LED system as inside the camper, and this I can also change the colors. I'll keep it red again to keep the night vision and also keep the bugs away. And as you can see, adjustable with the brightness settings. And this button is the same button for the water system. So I'll hook up the water so you guys can see. So I am using the same exact hose that I used before, but this time I have an outlet port to keep all the water system just pretty much flowing in and outside the camper. I don't want to store the hose while the system can be live inside the camper. This just reduces the risk of water getting everywhere. So we have that there. So you can see there's no water coming out because the system is off. So now with that water system, guys, we got no water pressure coming through. We use the same button. Probably hear the pump going now. Now we got water. And then we hit it again. It shuts off the system. Water pressure goes completely down. So same idea. It's a 2-button system. There's one up on the sink inside, and we got one out here. You press it once, it turns on the water system. You press it again within 5 minutes, it just turns it off. And what's great is the timer system actually shuts everything down after 5 minutes. So it reduces any chances of leak in the camper if someone forgets to turn off the water main electric completely. So I'm very happy with that. And moving further to the right, we have another little storage area, and this actually doubles as a door to hide the electrical system. So I'll pull this out so you guys can see. There's a little fuse box up top, and all the wiring is hidden behind that. And in order to actually access that, we'll have to open it up from the inside, and I'll show you. So I'm trying to make use with as much of the space as I can. This is definitely a much more useful storage space, which also doubles as a way to hide all this stuff going on here. So as you can see, this is the fill port for the tank, and that is the other port for the hose, the outdoor hose system itself. And this is all just electrical work that I did in order to get the water system to work. This is actually the timer that I was talking to you about earlier, and everything's on a DC fuse system. So just in case there's any electrical issues, I could just swap out any of the fuses. But I have to say, this definitely works out great. And I forgot to mention, this is actually the storage for 3 of the legs for the 270 awning, and that spot works perfectly. Now let's hit this with some B-roll. So we tested this layout a few weeks ago, and I have to say, using this new layout is quite amazing. It's so much easier to cook outside and to clean up, and we know exactly where everything is supposed to go, and if anything is missing, if all of our items have an exact place to store. So we are really happy with this. But there are a few other ideas that we did come up with as we were testing this layout, and you'll see that in future videos. But let me know what you guys think about this new indoor and outdoor kitchen layout. And if you have any thoughts of improvement, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you smash that like, subscribe, and hit that bell too while you're at it. And until next time, peace out, everybody.